Hey everybody, it's Jim Turk or Jimmy T from BeatMyDisease.com again, following up on this free video series. I hope things have been going well for you. I hope you've had a chance to put some of this stuff into practice. As I've said before, the writing stuff down makes a huge difference. There's something magical that happens when you write stuff down on a pad. So you can tell yourself in your head a million times that you're going to do it, but somehow when you write stuff down, there's a change in a commitment level. You're telling yourself in writing that you can see day in and day out that you've told yourself you're going to do that. So it makes it more likely to happen, basically. So it's really easy to write down. I would encourage you to do that. Put it in a calendar. I think that's a great way to do that, to schedule things. It seems corny, but it works. I don't know why it works, but it works. So I don't mess with it. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the R in control, which is rest and relaxation. Now this is huge. They're all big and they all basically fit together, as you'll find out. But I'm very careful about how my rest goes, how my sleep goes, basically about keeping up with my level of sleep and my routine for going to sleep, the time I go to sleep. Now keep in mind, I used to be not only burning the candle at both ends, because I was, I have a family, I was working full-time, earning my master's degree full-time, so I wasn't getting a lot of sleep there, but I also spent years in various bands as a drummer, so a lot of equipment to carry to gigs, a lot of equipment to tear down, so I was always the first one in, the last one out kind of thing. And so it was not uncommon for me to get home around 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the morning and then have to get up and go to work the next day, which isn't always very conducive to getting good sleep, as you can imagine. And so things have changed for me pretty drastically since being diagnosed with MS, and I'm sure it's can be much different for all of you. And I don't always mean that is bad it's for the worse. Things have changed, and that's not always for the worse. It just means that I'm more aware of things, more careful about doing things. That makes a lot of other parts in my life that much better. So, if you look at what the CDC says about sleep, there's of course tons of research articles and things like that that have been done about the level of sleep that especially Americans get. But if you look at the CDC, for example, they'll say anywhere from, I want to say it's 50 to 70 million Americans don't get enough sleep, just in general. And that's mostly, I think, due to our stressful lifestyle. Obviously, as technology gets better, as we do more work, as we're able to play more, whatever it is, we sleep more. It's a lower priority. And the quality of our sleep definitely goes down drastically, and that may be okay. You're resilient to that stuff. You can sort of take on that kind of stuff when you're totally healthy, but when you're not totally healthy, it's harder to bounce back from that sort of thing. And so if you want to really encourage healing, a lot of healing, and it's documented, happens during sleep. And you feel better during the day if you're getting a lot of sleep or getting the right amount of sleep and a good quality of sleep. So I would really encourage you to do that. So part of that is developing a bedtime routine, and this can start half hour to an hour ahead of time. Whether it be meditation or praying or singing a song or watching, reading a good book or whatever the case is. Then when you go to sleep, when you go to your bedroom, don't turn on the TV, don't turn on the computer, don't do things that are going to distract you. I, as a matter of course, have decided I always fall asleep with an iPod on. And it's really not to listen to heavy duty rock and roll, rap, metal, whatever. The quality of, that affects how well you can relax and how well you can slow your body down. So I tend to listen to really slow, really mellow kind of music, and more often than not, audiobooks. But because I'm a deep thinker, That's just kind of my personality. It's not to say anything bad or good about myself. I tend to really think about everything that they say in audiobooks. But I found that if I listen to the same audiobook every night, it's almost like I have it memorized. It's almost like Pavlov's dogs, right? It's almost like a conditioned response. I hear that audiobook, whatever that is, whatever that chapter is, whatever the case is, and I fall asleep within minutes. And that's no coincidence. I really don't get any value out of the audiobook at this point when I go to bed. It's just a method of training me to get to bed sooner, and so I use that conditioned response to get myself to sleep quicker, and it really works well. So I would encourage you to do that. Go to bed early enough. A good general rule that we've always heard is 8 hours. No, but some people need 9 or 10 hours. That's not uncommon. Other people need less. The reality is it varies from person to person. So you have to figure it out for yourself, but you also have to be totally honest with yourself. You have to really prioritize the level of sleep that you're getting and make sure that that's a priority, and make sure that you stop watching a movie at a certain time, or you stop, having beers with friends at a certain time, so you can get home and get to bed at a regular, normal amount of time, so you can be more functional and do all the other things in the control program the next day. And this is all part of it. It all ties together. And so sleep is a huge part of it. Sleep is huge for healing, just for feeling better in general. I would really encourage you to concentrate on getting a good amount of good quality sleep. So temperature obviously has a lot to do with how well you sleep. Lots of other things, so I would encourage you to do that. Now the relaxation portion is more about stress control and stress reduction. And when I think about that, we always hear a lot about meditation. Prayer works well for anybody that's into prayer, and it's kind of works the same way. But the idea of meditation, and this is something that while I didn't do early on, it's certainly something I've taught myself to do, taught myself to be comfortable with, and I make myself do it every single day. And I have for probably a couple of years. It's made a huge, huge difference in my life. And so I would encourage you to try to do that. I've got some instructions, meditation video, things like that will help you along the way, some demonstrations. But think about, you can do a couple of different things. First of all, when you meditate, you should do it for 5 or probably 10 to 20 minutes at least. A lot of people go for longer, but don't go shorter than 10 minutes in general if you can help it. 5 minutes once you're good at it is better than nothing, but you should get 10 minutes, because I find it takes 5 minutes just to calm my body down, calm my brain down. But if you sit, and what I do, for example, is I'll sit and I'll count breaths. So once in, out, and I don't adjust the speed of my breathing, but I'm just calmly counting breaths and concentrating on that breath and counting. And as you're counting, you're not really thinking about other things. You can't really think about other things. So you have to count very consciously every single breath in and out. And that's really going to help you gain control of your situation. What that's going to do is it's eventually, after several minutes, going to calm your mind down. And remember, this is like watching a kid grow or puppy grow or something like that. It's not going to happen overnight. You're making progress. You're getting better every single day, even though it doesn't seem like that. Even though it seems like you want to give up because it's too hard, or you seem too distracted. Your mind is racing, so forget it. I can't wipe my mind clean, so I'm not going to bother. Well, that's not really how it works. Really what's happening is every day you're getting a little bit better. You might not see it, but I promise you that if you were to journal your results and look at it 6 months from now, you'd see that there's a huge difference. So that's really how you have to kind of look at it, is how well am I doing from day to day, and just know that you're getting better. And that improvement that you're making is going to make a huge difference in your well-being. It's going to improve your chances of healing. It's going to improve your resilience, which is great for stress, from day-to-day stuff, not just at the time. And so overall, it's just going to make you more resistant to secondary illnesses, but also getting better in general, and resilient to stress and things like that. And remember that increased levels of stress in your daily life can lead to increased risk of a lot of diseases. Well documented, of course, cardiovascular disease. So you want to reduce stress there. Increased stress increases cholesterol, bad cholesterol, and increases the rate of heart attacks. That's well known, it's well documented. There's no argument there. So meditation is a good way to resolve that, to reduce that likelihood. And it's just kind of an overtime thing. It gets better every single day, even if you can't see it. And you have to be certain of that. You have to be confident that that's happening. We talk about that confidence. That's a big part of it. You have to be confident that it's working, that you're getting better, and that's just how it's happening. It's that constant increasing resilience, improving the immune system. That's well documented through meditation and sleep, and then reducing things like cholesterol and other bad things that can affect your cardiovascular system. So that's a very, very important thing. I would really, really highly encourage you to do that. I guess that's probably it. Just know that, for example, if I find myself stressing out in the middle of the day, I might decide I'm going to do this, meditate for 10 minutes in the morning. I have time kind of blocked out. If I want to go longer, I do, but if I'm in a hurry to leave, or I have to take my kid to school or something like that, I might miss it. I might not be able to do it as long. But then when I get to work, throughout the day, if I find I'm stressing out about something, I've got it sort of worked out and I know how to do this now. And so I've figured out how to take 5 minutes and just relax myself, calm myself down, and get into that mode, that zone, much, much faster. And it really helps my well-being and my resilience throughout the day and into the night, and helps me sleep better. So it all kind of connects. When you meditate like that, you're increasing your levels of oxytocin, that good feel-good hormone. That is a healing hormone as well. And so, it's kind of a dual-purpose thing. I mean, if you meditate, you increase oxytocin production, and that's good for you. If you increase oxytocin production, it becomes easier to do things like meditate. So you get a benefit both ways. It's kind of funny how it just kind of continues, it perpetuates itself, but it's a healing thing and a feel-good thing. So that's happening for a reason. You're healing, you're feeling good, it's helping you sleep. It all really perpetuates itself. So just know that that's happening. You might not see that day to day, but I promise you that if you look back in 6 months, you'll see it's made a huge difference in your life. So I'd really encourage you to do that. All right? So until next time, thanks much. If you have any comments or questions, write them below and I'll try to get back to as many as possible. You can also email me and I'm happy to respond to those. If you have any other questions, just feel free to write in the comments, email me, whatever. And maybe somebody else will respond, maybe I'll respond. But we're all in this together. I mean, I don't have it all figured out. I just know that there's a lot of things in your life that you can control, despite the fact that you feel like you're losing control of a lot. So that's what I really try to do, and that's what I'm hoping that you'll do as well. All right? So until next time, it's Jimmy T from BeatenEyeDisease.com. Thanks much, and we'll see you around.